Today is February 14th, 2025. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part two of my series, Anxiety Behind the Anxiety. My main message for this presentation is to focus on the 4R's method to end worry and anxiety. My references are the book QBQ, The Question Behind the Question by John Miller, and a sermon by Cody Surratt, Seacoast Grace Church, on January the 26th of this year. Once you accept the notion that the outer world is not the real cause of your anxiety, but just a physical manifestation of an inner or spiritual cause, then you're ready to fix the real causes of worry and anxiety. For example, if many normal activities seem insurmountable and the prospect of failure generates fear, worry, and anxiety, the cause could be faulty beliefs about your ability to handle adversity. If your life is lacking direction, meaning, purpose, or connection to a higher power, you're likely bothered by an existential issue such as what your life is all about, or even if it's worthwhile. But if a threat is not one of imminent survival or harm, then the threat is generally one of the mind or the spirit. So to overcome the real fear, worry, and anxiety, you must find the root cause, which is usually an errant belief you possess about how life works and your role in it. Too many people have erroneous beliefs conditioned by their past that give rise to uncomfortable feelings like worry and anxiety, that something is not quite right with their life. To cure worry and anxiety is to find and fix the anxiety behind the anxiety. Proposition 1. The obvious cause of anxiety in the physical world is seldom the root cause. Now, here are some possible causes behind the physical cause: defective thinking, cognitive distortions and/or irrational beliefs, personality disorders, a deficiency in one's self-concept, self-esteem, or self-worth, or spiritual issues, a life without direction, meaning, purpose, or a connection to a higher power. When you start to seriously investigate your concerns, most of them you will discover the real cause is not the physical challenges, but your beliefs about your ability to handle them. So when you get anxious, you must start by observing your thoughts, feelings, and habitual responses to find the root cause, which is most often not the perceived adversity in your physical circumstances. Somehow, your beliefs have been corrupted and conditioned to interpret reality with distorted perspectives. That's what's causing your anxiety. For most people, the three most probable causes of anxiety come from one of three core beliefs. Number one, I am not good enough to handle challenging situations. Number two, other people are not okay and they are the source of most of my challenges. Or three, life is not okay and they are continually presenting me with challenges. Proposition 2. You need to investigate the real root cause of your anxiety by asking what and why questions. The root cause of anxiety is seldom the outer world, but psychological or spiritual. So begin asking what questions. What are other possibilities in psychological and spiritual realm that might be the cause of my anxiety? Ask why questions. Why am I so bothered by this perceived threat? Keep asking the why questions until you come to a root belief. You can discover what specific beliefs are working against you and causing recurring episodes of anxiety by asking questions such as what and why. Why does this potential source of anxiety cause me to feel so anxious? What beliefs do I have that might be false and not useful? What about this potential threat might not be relevant? that I'm not able to prevent, handle, or prepare for on my own? What can I do to counter these false beliefs? What would I prefer to believe? The root cause of your anxiety might be an exaggeration of the probability or magnitude of the threat. The root cause might be a belief that you're not good enough to handle it, which is a self-esteem or self-confidence issue. All other threats, if real, can be dealt with by taking right action. Ask yourself, what actions can I take that will, number one, reduce the likelihood of the threat, or prepare you to handle it properly, or minimize its impact if it does happen? By taking right action aimed at the right source of your anxiety, you can take control to eliminate the intensity of your negative emotions or to eliminate them completely. Proposition 3. The 4-step method is a solution to ending worry and anxiety. The first step is to recognize that you have these feelings of anxiety. Identify the symptoms, the thoughts, the feelings, and the physical impacts. And then what you want to do is to identify specifically or give it your anxiety a name, and then begin to relabel the mental distortions that have caused you to feel this anxiety. It could be a case of gross exaggeration. Refocus your thinking on positive, rational thoughts and work to make today complete. The best you can do to handle life is do what you're supposed to do today and leave as few unfinished businesses for tomorrow. And then the last R, reevaluate your success in eliminating your worry and anxiety. And if you still have a sufficient residue, then repeat steps 1, 2, 3 as needed. There is an immediate and fast way to get control over your anxiety that you can execute immediately called the four-step solution. It may not be a permanent solution, but in the moment it'll reduce your anxiety. Again, the first R deals with recognizing that the source of your anxiety is often a misunderstanding of the outer world, threat, or adversity. So focus your attention not on the perceived threat, but your imagined deficiency for dealing with it. You can even give the threat a name, such as, my boss is getting on my nerves and I don't know what to do about it. The second R is relabeling your thoughts about the source of worry once you've traced the anxiety to the real psychological cause, which is a distorted belief or erroneous thinking. Instead, you might reduce your first thoughts about the adversity to this one. I'm bothered by my boss's behavior, and I want to clarify my misunderstanding. Worrying and obsessing over adversity without action is not an effective strategy. The third R is refocusing and deals with the correction of any distortions in thinking, beliefs, or habits, and then taking proactive action to test the reality of your perceptions or to improve the situation. Here's an example. I intend to have a conversation with my boss to clarify my concerns. See, this gives you a distinct and definitive action you can take to mitigate your thoughts about your concerns over your boss. With a clear perception and interpretation of reality, you'll know what you must do to deal with adversity. With greater clarity as to the source of your anxiety, you can take prescriptive action and your anxiety will begin to subside. And finally, I've already mentioned reevaluation. So if your anxiety is still there, repeat steps 1, 2, 3. Finally, my final message is that anxiety ends only when you find and fix the root causes. Fear, worry, and anxiety are often emotions caused by fearful thoughts triggered by false beliefs. Once you find the false beliefs behind your worrisome thoughts, not only will your emotions of anxiety diminish, but you will know the right actions to take to correct the source of your apprehensions. Right thinking, along with right action, are the sure cure to worry, fear, and anxiety. So when you begin to feel anxious, Start challenging your fearful thoughts and connecting them to erroneous beliefs. And then apply the 4R's method to get immediate relief. Now that you know how to deal with your anxiety, I recommend you try the 4R's to see how it works for you. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.